Hi, I'm Serena. The date is March 10th, 2023, and today we're going to be talking about the Page of Wands. So, in order to understand who the Page of Wands is, we have to understand what the page represents. So the page in very simple terms, and we'll get more in depth in a second, but the page is known as like the messenger. So in regards to whatever suit she rules over. So she is the messenger of wands, and wands represents the element of fire, which represents energy. So she is the messenger of energy, or the messenger of action, which means that she brings forth an opportunity for change, or she brings forth an opportunity in general. She brings forth chance. She's represented by the astrological aspect of Venus in the fire signs, which indicates rich, passionate action. Fire isn't an element, it's actually like a phenomenon. So it represents action. Venus represents love, beauty, and desire. So the Page of Wands represents active affection in motion. She is known as like a young lover. She is seen to be a young person. In regards to the court card, it is kind of indicating like who it is that we're talking to, who it is that we're referring to in the spread in regards to the situation that we're reading about. So the page is an apprentice. She's someone who's still learning. She's very inexperienced. She's very immature. So not only is she inexperienced, but she also lacks shame and discernment at times. Driven by whatever element compels her. So which in this case, she is the earth, because page is represented by the earth of fire. She's the earth of fire. So she is driven by the physical and the energetic. But she lacks water and air. So sometimes that means that she can lack emotion and she can lack forethought. So the page is someone who has been stripped voluntarily of her worldly possessions or his worldly possessions in order to gain the wisdom that her suit embodies. In this case, it's the wands. The knowledge that they possess is that they will one day lead their people, but only once gaining the wisdom of their element, so they are an apprentice. The page, sometimes referred to as the princess, it lacks maturity, like we said, and experience. Her duty is to silently be present as problems arise in the kingdom, and to take note of not only how the authorities above her react, but also how their actions affect the outcome. So if you've seen season 2 of Game of Thrones, there is a point in the beginning of the season where Rhaenyra is present for a lot of the meetings that take place with the royal council, with her dad and his advisors, and she doesn't really participate in the conversation. She actually is discouraged from participating in the conversation because she is not only a woman, but she's young and inexperienced. But at that time, she's gaining knowledge and wisdom into how kingdoms interact with one another and how the actions of one kingdom affect the other kingdoms. So that is the job of the page, is to silently listen. And a lot of the time that is difficult for young people because, like we said, they lack experience, so they don't know what they don't know. So the universe at this time is asking you to watch quietly, so that you can inherit the transformation required to reach a higher suit. And we've said before on this channel that the exalted will acts without fear. So the Page of Wands indicates that, the exalted will acts without fear. And the combination of love, Venus, and action, Wands, creates enthusiasm or abolishment of fear. So the Page of Wands indicates that your fears have lost control of you, or that your fears do not have control over you at this time, or whoever it is that we're speaking about. So if it's about you now, without this fear, what strengths do you now possess? Thinking about the path moving forward, which direction will you move now that you live without fear? or it's encouraging you to consider that each action that we make is either, or each choice we make is either a choice made out of fear or a choice made out of love. So how will you move forward, or what choices will you make if you were to make a choice out of love instead of fear? If we accept our fears, the chemical reaction or the energy that is created is love, if we accept our fears. The negative aspect of the Page of Wands is that, as we said, she is about passionate action with the Venus in the fire sign, and one very strong passionate action is actually revenge. So the Page of Wands is actually very vengeful. People with Venus in a fire sign can be very vengeful, and I know that from personal experience. Can attest. So she is the earth of fire. So she is actually fire acting physically without water or without emotion or without air, without forethought, which creates a lack of empathy and creates selfishness, greed, cruelty, and instability. The Page of Wands has been compared to a forest fire. It is very beautiful and powerful, but it is also dangerous and explosive. It burns down, or the Page of Wands burns down the object of her desires and leaves behind ashes in her path. The Page of Wands is action or adventure, and that action or adventure requires courage or risk-taking, which increases tension and it gives us a desire to test our limits on a daily basis. So the Page of Wands is constantly testing her limits because she is in search of action. She's like a thrill seeker. She wants to see how far she can push herself. If she sees something that she wants, she will burn down anything in her path in order to get it, and it won't mean anything to her anymore because it is just ash in her, in the path that she's just walked. It doesn't matter anymore. If she's hurt you, it's not something that she's going to feel bad about, but if you hurt her, she will take the time to seek vengeance for herself because she loves herself a lot. She is very passionate. She loves herself. Who can you love more than you love yourself? Venus in a fire sign is passionate love. You love yourself passionately. When someone hurts you, or when someone hurts the Page of Wands, she will seek vengeance for herself. She doesn't need anybody to do that for her. She will actually seek vengeance for the people that she loves as well. If you hurt them, she will hurt you. So the princess, or the page, is brilliant and daring. I almost think of her kind of like Princess Jasmine from Aladdin because she lived passionately. She took passionate action. She didn't want to be constrained by the laws of her palace, so she sought out her own adventure, and she didn't care that Aladdin wasn't an actual prince. She just loved him, and he lit a fire within her, so that's what she chose to pursue. And yeah, so she creates beauty through her self-inspired action. She has self-inspired action. The action comes from within the page. The page kind of is represented by nothingness. It is like what is created out of nothingness is the page. So she has her own self-inspired action, and that in turn allows her to imprint her beauty upon her beholder. Her action is what's beautiful. It's not necessarily her, although she may be beautiful. Her real beauty lies in the action that she takes on a daily basis, or when pursuing something that she is passionate about. So she's like a wildfire in love or in anger. She is sudden, she is violent, and she is unable to be reasoned with, and she is all-consuming. You can't really reason with the Page of Wands. like you might be able to reason with the Page of Swords. She's not really into the whole like introspective thing. She thinks what she thinks, and that's just how it is. And if she is passionate about doing something, nothing or no one is going to stand in her way of accomplishing that, because she has self-inspired action. She is energy. She is the embodiment of pure energy. So she can also be, like we said, violent, like a wildfire. She can be unable to be reasoned with. She can be sudden. She is ambitious or inspiring, which in turn she is like seen as like very enthusiastic. And that can come across sometimes as like being irrational. She lacks patience, except for the patience for vengeance. That is the only thing that she has patience for. She will never forget who wronged her because she loves herself so much. And she will never forget those who have wronged the people that she loves because she loves them so much. This lack of maturity combined with inspired action creates someone who's very theatrical and superficial, who comes across as shallow and false, yet she doesn't see herself this way. She has full confidence in herself, even when her cruelty is evident. And yeah, I mean, we all have our downfalls, and I don't think that that's necessarily something that she should be ashamed of. People love theatrical people, but it's just like sometimes the Page of Wands will start talking about something that she doesn't necessarily exactly know what she's talking about, and she tries to present herself as somebody who like has a deep knowledge of this, and it can come across to some people as like icky, but she doesn't ever like pick up on that. So who cares? However, her freedom from fear does inspire those and people who pull her card to say yes to life and to take opportunities for adventure and passionate action. So she is inspiring to those people around her. She inspires people to go and do things. She inspires people to try new things and to just like say yes to every opportunity that they have. That Page of Wands at this time, if you pull it, is encouraging you to say yes to any opportunity that you have in front of you. In love, in regards to a love reading, if you pull the Page of Wands, it encourages you to continue to explore your interests that fill you with passion. So if there's somebody who sparks a fire inside of you, pursue that person, but just know that if it's in regards to someone, if someone that you're talking about, you pull the Page of Wands, it could be an indication of someone who is interested in you for the time being, but might not be interested in you for the long haul. But we don't know. It could just mean that there's like passion between you, new passion between you. It just depends on the situation. It depends on the person. In regards to career or work, it is encouraging you to take risks. The Page of Wands is encouraging you to take risks and to follow the spark of passion and to live without fear. This action will impress upon others your undeniable intelligence, and upon yourself, it will give you the experience that you need to evolve. So if that involves starting a new job or starting a new venture or applying to new jobs and going to interviews, those are things that the Page of Wands would encourage you to do. Follow your heart, follow what interests you, take action towards those things, and live without fear. Don't feel like, oh, if I quit my job, I'm never gonna have anything. That's just not true. You can always take action to find something new, and something is always there for you to find. And like we said, she creates beauty through her own self-inspired action. So in work, being initiative, even if you still stay with your same job and you take initiative more at work, you choose to start taking initiative and embody this Page of Wands energy, that will impress upon other people that you are intelligent, that you are ambitious, that you are enthusiastic, and those are all things that like create like a really good leader. So if you want to take the initiative to be a leader at your work, the Page of Wands is encouraging you to do so at this time, and her energy supports you. So, and also, like we said, she's an apprentice, so taking that action will ultimately give her more experience to allow her to be a better ruler over her kingdom when she finally does have that role. So, in regards to a personal reading, the Page of Wands encourages you to take passionate action again and to continue to say yes to adventures, reaching beyond your comfort zone. So if there is an opportunity to go on a date, go on a date. If there's an opportunity to go hang out with your friends and do something new that you've never done, it's encouraging you to do so. Or even with the initiative thing, it's encouraging you to be the one to start that process of allowing your friends to get together and do something new. Say yes, live without fear at this time. Do all the things that make you excited to be alive. Nervousness is confused with excitement. That is something that I have been working towards. Instead of using the word nervous, I have tried to consciously replace that word with excited. Instead of saying, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous, I say, oh my gosh, I'm excited. And because nervousness is just kind of excitement, but excitement is nervousness without fear, right? The only difference I think between nervousness and excitement is that nervousness indicates fear, whereas excitement indicates, there's no fear. So say that you're excited rather than saying that you're nervous. I would encourage you to do that. She definitely does that. Yeah, and like we said, in reverse, it could just indicate somebody who is a little bit immature. So I hope that you learned something about the Page of Wands and that you have a good day. So thanks for being here with me. I hope to see you again. Bye.